Good afternoon and welcome to our afternoon parallel sessions at OutSea 2021. My name is Roger Emery, I'm chairing this session and I'm delighted to welcome James Howell and Ovidiu Bagdasar with us today to present their presentation on numeracy skills training for all with Elevate My Maths, and they'll be providing a demonstration at the end. Please put your comments or questions in the chat area on YouTube. Over to you, James and Ovidiu. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Roger. We are delighted to present at the annual conference of the Association for Learning Technology. We are going to present our findings of and our experience of implementing numeracy skills training for the students at the University of Derby. I'm an associate professor at the University of Derby. I'm teaching mathematics modules, and James is the director of international programs at VRETA.
Thank you, Ovidiu. So I'm just going to frame the conversation for today's discussion really briefly. The agenda is to discuss the challenge that brought us to Elevate My Math. Then we're going to take a look at some of the data in Canada as well as the UK. Just very briefly, VRETA is a Canadian company. Then we're going to look at the solution, which is Elevate My Maths, and how we brought Elevate My Maths to the University of Derby. We're going to get into the details from inception to the end. And then we're going to look at some of the data and results for the students there, as well as have a brief demo of the platform itself, Elevate My Maths. And hopefully we can have some time for some Q&A after that. Okay. So the first thing we want to talk about here is the challenge, that is the numeracy gap. Now, a lot of folks would often talk about literacy and the need for literacy worldwide. That's not often the case with numeracy, but there is indeed a numeracy gap, and it is widening. The definition of the numeracy gap here is going to be the present levels of numeracy in the workforce and the level of numeracy desired or required for full participation in the today's ever more technological society, more and more technological. Now, some of the causes of this numeracy gap, it's very hard to get into each and every one, but we just wanted to frame some very, very brief ones here. Those are societal attitudes, the idea that some people just cannot do math while others can, and the over-reliance on calculators. These are some of the common ones brought up. However, at VRETA and with our partners at University of Derby, we do believe everyone could be numerate, and everyone needs to be numerate in today's society. Sorry about that, I went one slide too fast. Now, we just want to look at some of the numeracy trends in Canada, and this led to something like Elevate My Math. So back in 2004, with the results from the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development, they test adult competency in numeracy as well as 15-year-olds. They survey every year, and then they release the results every 3 years. So a very important statistic is over here on the left. 55%, that's more than half of adults in the Canadian population are below the desired level of numeracy. And then we can also see the trend here of the 15-year-olds from 2009 to 2018, the last year that they reported. The 2021 data is not yet out. And it looks like Canada was on a downtrend and now it's increasing. However, I've put a small note beside here that there's 5 Asian Pacific countries that typically report in the top 10 that have not been reporting in the last set of data for various political reasons. Now let's take a quick look at how the trends in numeracy with adults as well as 15-year-olds has an effect on higher education in Canada. So these are results we're looking at here from something called the College Student Achievement Project. This was in the province of Ontario. It was a 10-year research project. And in their findings, they found that across all programs in higher education, about a third of students were at risk of not completing their program solely due to their first semester math course and their grade in that course. So you can see here the different subgroups that were looked at, pretty common to all higher ed programs. As well as, the success rates. Good grades is defined as 60% or higher here in Canada. And then at risk is anything below that. And it's about a third of the students. Okay. In response to this data from the College Student Achievement Project, the Ministry of Education, as well as the Ministry of Training Colleges and Universities, in collaboration with all 24 colleges here in the province of Ontario, got together to create a system called the OCMT, which was the Ontario College Math Test. And the goal of this was to diagnose, upskill pragmatically, and then reassess the level of mastery prior to students coming into the higher education system to improve student success as well as retention. There was an open RFP at that time, and Vreta was selected as the technology partner using Elevate My Math, which has been rebranded the OCMT here in Ontario, but it's also available outside of the province of Ontario. So just very quickly, and forgive me every time I say Elevate My Math instead of Elevate My Maths. I am from Canada, so I have trouble pluralizing math sometimes. But Vreta is an award-winning Canadian educational technology. Our vision is a world where everyone enjoys mathematics. And the Elevate My Math product was designed to diagnose and identify the skills where there are potential gaps, provide targeted upgrading and remediation wherever possible, and then reassess to the level of mastery prior to students getting into their college course. So some of the things that this is used for is either placement or streaming, but it's primarily a gap finding tool to assess the prior knowledge and then fill those gaps before any at-risk trends come in their studies. Forgive me. Now, very similar to Canada, we have a similar trend in the United Kingdom. Actually, interestingly enough, it's slightly reversed in the UK. It's less than half of adults who are below the desired level of numeracy. However, the 15-year-olds are not as consistent in a trend. So you can see here it moving from 22nd to the 13th, which is a large increase, but it is always around for the UK, the OCAD average. Again, there is that note beside for 2018 where 5 Asian Pacific countries did not report. So take that for what you will. All of these results are available publicly, and it's also something we can share with you guys as well. I'll pass it off to Ovidiu here.
Yeah, thank you very much, James. My colleague has already mentioned that 49% of the working age population of England has numeracy level expected of primary school children. This is alarming, and the economic impact is evaluated at around £20 billion per year. This is why numeracy should be the focus, I think, for every educator. And this has deep impact on the workforce, on the jobs someone can take. It's expected that 1 point increase in numeracy scores can lead to 19% wage increase. Numeracy is a requirement in many STEM jobs, and anyway, people working in STEM fields tend to earn more. Why should we bother about this at university? Because we have to support all students to access highly skilled jobs. And James already mentioned the situation in Canada where a third of the students were in danger of not completing their course. As a math teacher in my class, I'll show you in a moment what I'm teaching in my classes, but I really benefited from this. And I think in the UK especially, we hear this claim very often. Oh, I've always been bad at maths. If someone hears that you are teaching mathematics, they normally tell you, I hate maths, I'm not good. But I think this should not be acceptable at the university, and I think we should do everything we can in order to support our learners. My main class at the University of Derby is Computational Mathematics, taught to Year 1 students in computing. We teach them basic mathematics to bring them up to speed in order to be able to complete their degree in computing. It's a pretty large class, around 150 and 180 students, and the National Student Survey feedback, student satisfaction with the course around 2012 was pretty low. I developed a wide range of resources, including computer-based assessment, a whole question bank, and this seemed to have impact year on year. So the student results improved year on year. But then in the next slide, you'll see that in 2018, I've met the gentleman on the left. of the picture. This is Professor Graham Orput from Canada. And he was working with Vreta, and we met, and he told me, my dream is a world where everyone enjoys maths. And I thought, that's exactly my dream as well. And then we started a very nice collaboration. We started to organize workshops to raise awareness with regards to numeracy training. And we worked together to deploy some numeracy training courses in my class, so that before students start to work on their more advanced maths, I wanted to make sure that they have their gaps in the basic maths field and in the day-to-day maths, which also helps them with their job. And then we found understanding and support from the University of Derby. We were able to sign a partnership, a 3-year partnership with Vreta. It's up now for renewal. And we became their academic hub in the UK, and we started to develop many courses to fit the needs of our learners. We developed digital badges to improve the employability of our students. And also they are now deployed, these courses, across the university through the virtual learning environment. And also we are working on translations with partners abroad. Next slide, please. In the first phase of the project, we deployed in my courses, in the College of Engineering and Technology, in 5 modules, we deployed one basic course, Advanced Numeracy Skills, covering basic mathematics. So again, a reminder, numeracy is the mathematics of day-to-day life. So fractions, percentages, but this is the mathematics that you really need to get correctly. This is the maths that nurses are using for dosage calculations. You don't want a nurse to have an incorrect calculation of a dose. And we've received great feedback from students, especially from the students who are coming back into education after long gaps. We have a student who was coming back to the university after 25 years break. And I remind you the structure of this resource. So the idea is you first have a diagnostic, you see where the student is, then you have remedy lessons where appropriate, and then you have summative assessment in order to confirm the mastery levels. Next slide, please. Now, the benefit for my course was that I was making sure that the students were going through this numeracy skills training. They had their basic math skills checked, so I didn't have to repeat Pythagoras and other basic things in class. I could see that the students were engaged by the resource, and I could also measure improvement between the diagnostic and the summative. The improvement worked as expected. Smaller format students were already very familiar with the contents, so their diagnostics scores were very high. But there was huge improvement in my cohort in computational maths in Greece, because these students were also learning the maths formulations and the maths English formulations. And what I could see, you will see more data in a moment, but normally the pass rate for my course was 84-85% with computer-based assessment, and this went up to 90%. Now, I'll make this story very short. After the first year, based on the success recorded with the first 300 students in our college, I worked with colleagues from across the university in the College of Arts, Humanities, Finance, Business, Accounting, and together we designed 12 numeracy training courses. So these 10 plus 2 extra courses to meet the needs of learners from across the university. And these courses were then promptly deployed with support from our learning technicians across Blackboard. So we integrated with Blackboard, and they were deployed within a few months. They were deployed in more than 100 instances in Blackboard. Then this also helped Vreta to upgrade the resource, because we were able to build new courses. We actually moved the technology to the next level, because we redesigned actually the whole ethos around the whole structure of Elevate My Maths. So they adopted now the 2.0 designation. So now, instead of having a large diagnostic with 60 questions, we divided the courses into small topics, and each topic has this diagnostic, remedy, summative structure. Assessment for learning, so the summatives could be repeated as many times as the students wanted. And now the courses are also deployed through the University Math Skills Guide. And this led to different opportunities as well. So we have interactive dashboards, and also students could do placements as well. These are the dashboards for the tutors. So based on 3 bullets, I can tell exactly where my cohort is. I can measure engagement using this bullet R1. Then S4, if I look at the 4th summative, I can measure exactly how many students engage properly with the whole resource, so 128. And then I also have a proficiency assessment. And then in this proficiency, following the completion of this proficiency assessment, students can get a digital badge, which is now offered through the Open Badge Factory. I'll show you just a snapshot of the impact EMM Elevate My Maths had on my own course. This is computational mathematics. These are results starting from 2015-16, and then year on year. You will see that the results which are not shaded are like results as they are taken from the grade book, while the results highlighted in different colors are demonstrating the impact, are highlighting the impact of different EMM interventions. I only focused on 2 statistics. First, the first one is the first time pass rate. So these are the students who score 40% or above and pass the module. And then on the good grades, similar to what James was describing in Canada, so 60% or above grade. And this is the number of active students. So student number is the number of active students, so the students who submitted something. And then I take in 2015, 17, 18, I just displayed the pass rate, which was 83% in the first year. So 83%, 84%, 86%. And then the good grades, the percentage was 59%, 61%, and 58%. So I think pretty comparable with minor adjustments leading to slightly improved grades. Then the pilot project was implemented in 2018-19, and here I'm showing you the data which is comparable. So these are this is just the regular completion rate, and then this is the impact of EMM, where I plot here. I only take a restricted set, a subset of the students, only those who completed their EMM course. So 99 students completed. So 107 students completed EMM, and then out of these, 99 passed, 69 scoring AB. This means that the percentage of students who passed from the first attempt was increased from 89% to 93%, and then the good grades increased from 58% to 64%. Then from the second year onwards, I deployed 2 courses, D1 and the D2, and here I'm scoring the gradual improvement of this pass rate. So the pass rate, the overall pass rate was 89%. Students were also given extended deadlines. So the pass rates were anyway higher. However, if you restrict our attention to the students who completed D1, the pass rate increases to 94%. And if the students also complete D2, the number of students, so if you pass your Elevate My Maths, then the pass rate for those students was 98%. So now, because we are in the COVID era, I can associate this with getting your dose of numeracy training, and then this helps you develop immunity to failing against course failure. So I think these figures show that this really worked in terms of pass rates, and I think results were even more impressive in terms of the good grades, because we can see that the good grades without EMM were about 73%. The year before, they were even smaller, around 60%. And now, if we restrict to the students who completed their numeracy training, this was 87%. So I think this is like a pretty mathematical proof that this seems to have worked.
Certainly, actually increasing that bracket of good grades significantly is very interesting.
Yes, and then we also worked with the marketing team, with employability, with the digital skills team. We have awarded 400 plus badges for the completion of the course. You can share the achievement via social media. You can check my own digital badge, and we are in the top of the university badges for completions. Of course, we have this work attracted attention from various partners. We are working with partners within the university, with the Maths Hub, with the UOD applicants, with the Skills Hub. We have partners in the UK. We have various educational charities, Derby Opportunity Area. We are supporting academic partners in Greece as well, and also in Turkey, in Romania. And we are also working with an increasing number of SMEs. We are going to deploy this as numeracy training for companies through the European Social Fund. And also the new platform, the newly developed platform, EMM 2.0, is used now by more than 8,000 teachers from NASPED, so school-based teachers. And of course, we are looking for more collaborators. We can now demonstrate that this intervention works and can change student lives. We had to leave much of the feedback provided by students outside this presentation because of the time constraints. Thank you very much for your attention. And we are looking forward to your questions. Yes, we have a question from Jim Turner about EMM being fully embedded in all areas. So we are working with the University Central Services with the technology enhanced learning, and because the courses are now integrated with the Blackboard, it's very easy to deploy the course straight away in any module. We also have a skills module which runs across the university, and users can also access the numeracy training courses through that central module. However, if a lecturer, let's say I'm teaching calculus, module code for MA 501, if I want to manage the dashboard with my own students and track their progress, then I might be interested to deploy this course in my own module as well.
Thank you. Sorry, I realised my mic was muted just now. Another question from Jim there, just following that up. Have you got any qualitative data on the student feedback? Do students like it? Have you had any of that sort of feedback from your students?
Yes, we are collecting, and we are actually actively seeking feedback from the students. And this is also a resource which was developed together with the students. At the University of Derby, we have the ethos of working with students as partners, and we really care about what they have to say. We deployed, for example, a computer-based assessment in calculus, which was developed and trialed and debugged with the help of the students. First deployed as formative assessment, and then after it became very reliable, and the students even tweeted about this. So we encourage them to go on social media if they like something, and then just share it with the world, and then we take that into account to improve the course.
I was just gonna pick up actually just something you'd mentioned earlier. I know Derby has successfully run a separate attainment gap project, which trying to close the achievements for students with different educational and demographic backgrounds. Has this project touched on that at all, and have you seen any improvements across different demographics of students?
I think this is exactly the next step on our road, because through this project, now that it's deployed across the university, we can actually add a mathematical dimension to every student profile. So this means that what you can just, if you have this extra maths dimension to every student, then you can trace the evolution of the student in correlation with the maths performance. So I think this collaboration makes this project very feasible.
Okay, thank you. We're running out of time now. Further questions can be posed on the YouTube recording of this in the chat area. So there's a couple of other questions we haven't got time for, so you can respond there, and obviously anyone watching the recording can respond there. So I just want to say thank you to Ovidiu and James for their presentation. It sounds like an excellent project and product, and it's been very, very effective. So it'll be interesting to see what comes next, as you said, with the qualitative feedback and attainment gap work as well. So thank you very much both for your presentation today. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.